Hey everyone, and welcome to the update for, this is a couple of days ago actually. This is for Monday, July the 6th, if I recall correctly, here of 2026. So, let me start by putting today's update in context. Alright, so this was a Monday morning, and it was sunny outside. And I believe the high in our area got to about 90 degrees, Fahrenheit, of course. Beautiful clear skies, wonderful day, and I had the day off. Now, if you are a frequent follower of this channel or of these videos or whatnot, you know that I am constantly talking about I don't have enough time to do whatever. All right. You can probably, and I've done almost 200 of these daily vlogs now, going back to the end of of December. December 27th, I believe, was volume 1. At least of what I'm calling the official chronology. But anyway, over the course of those videos, I have on multiple occasions lamented how little time I have to get anything done. Alright, the receipts are all there, you can see it. And the thing is, the rest, or much of the rest of this, I'm actually mentioning publicly, basically to call myself out, because I don't want to be doing what I'm about to describe anymore. Alright, you're not going to hear anything criminal or anything that would even be really considered questionable, but I just don't like it. And I don't like what I am doing resulting from it, so I'm going to try to do less of it. Alright, that's basically the gist of what I'm about to start talking about here for the next several minutes, alright? So, trying to figure out or decide which angle with this I'm going to go down first. So, there have been a lot of different updates. Well, not a lot, but there have been several different ones where, we're chugging along, and and we're having a bunch of updates in a row where I'm saying things like, oh, I'm super busy, I'm working at the store, I'm working in the schools, I'm helping mom, busy, 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 busy. And then we reach a day where I finally, and granted I've only had like a dozen of these for the entire calendar year 2026, and so the day we were talking about would have been like number 13, where there's no like family commitment, no anything. That's not the exact number, I lost track of those, but it's somewhere in that ballpark. But then we reach a moment where then we have a day like that, and all the stars are aligning for me to get an incredible amount of stuff done. Well, I make the fateful decision after, and I've been working on the accounting and payroll schedule here for the last several days. And because of that, basically, I've been getting up at 2:30 in the morning. Now, not holding that exact schedule, but because I only had the one day off between 4 a.m. days, went to bed at a relatively reasonable time so that I would get up relatively early to give myself like 12 hours, the full daytime hours. So got up 6:15 or something like that. But at like 7:45, 8 o'clock, something like that, I whipped out my phone and decided to write a scene. All right. Now, and what I'm referring to here is, in previous updates, I have I mentioned, and I started talking about this. I did a couple of episodes where I was kind of talking about, alluding to stuff like this. This would have been like in late February, But prior to February 28th, when there was a massive family event that really shifted the direction of everything. But prior to that, I had been alluding to basically these like fictional stories about a fictional version of retail, and it, without going too far down the rabbit hole, I have always really enjoyed writing stuff. And going back to, again, I wrote my own like little mini stories about retail with fictional characters and lore and this and that and the other. And it's pretty magnificent, if I do say so myself. And I've been doing like just making up in my mind like these fictional worlds like ever since I remember doing this as early as like 8th grade, and even typing them out. I had one Word document that had gotten like 100,000 words of this stuff during my middle school and high school years. Way I loved amusing myself, but I eventually kind of grew out of it. Mainly because all the like characters and worlds and things that I would make all kind of sounded the same. Because you can come up with the most creative setting imaginable, but if the only thing that you know as the writer is like your life, it's going to sound a lot like your life, no matter how much you try to put yourself in other perspectives, okay? And so all this started to sound kind of monotonous to me because I could always, no matter what I was trying to do, write customers, write whatever, I'd always end up hearing my voice, right? And I'm sure that's a dilemma that a lot of authors have and stuff to that effect. So I ended up getting just kind of bored of doing it after a while, and this took, God, in the 2010s. So I was at least in my 30s by the time I got kind of tired of doing this. Anyway, so a couple of years back, as a matter of fact, 2 days before the end of school in 2024, I discovered a website that basically came to be AI fiction chapter generator. Okay. Well, I can put one of my old like story ideas and see if you can like write the characters and things the way that doesn't sound like me. Lo and behold, I was quite impressed. And I started coming up with more and more angles to this. And various scenes of various things that I was curious about, including like making characters go on very, very realistic versions of like cruises where I've like literally like an exotic cruise to some place that I'll probably never be able to go, and like using whatever the magic of AI is to write like stories where these characters go on like the same shore excursions that I would like to go to, and I'm just reading all this like ha ha with like characters that I wrote going on things that I would like to do. Anyway, where I am going with this is that honestly, this has become almost like an addiction. That's being a little bit melodramatic, but the amount of time that I waste doing that is absurd. Absolutely absurd. And so when I decide to write my scene at like 8 o'clock, next thing I know, it's almost 6 o'clock in the evening. I have not left the house, not eaten, not gone to the gym, not gotten anything done, and I need to go to bed in like an hour because I work at 4 a.m. the next day. There have been several updates in which I've had a day off where I've described not doing a whole lot, and they've all basically been that same pattern. I haven't mentioned it, really, because it's embarrassing, and then I started thinking, that's kind of evasive. That's almost like addiction type of action, and I'm calling myself out on that. So what I am doing, and this is really where I'm getting to for this entire update because I'm down to like 30 seconds left, I am taking the ChatGPT app and just deleting it from my phone for like a week and blocking this Perchance site in case I happen to go, which is the original AI writing site, in case I try to go back to it. And I'm going to see for the next week if that has an impact on what I get done. And we'll see. Anyway, have a great one. Thanks for joining me, and we'll talk tomorrow. Ciao for